Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be here talking about a 5K. Those of you who know me know I love to do and participate in 5Ks, but I'm here with Craig Moody. He is the OPPD board member and event co-chair with his wonderful wife, Emily. And also joining us is Major Adam Moore, the Salvation Army TSA coordinator. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Happy to be here.
Well, let's just talk a little bit about, so heat the streets, run, walk for warmth, which means you can either run, you can walk, you can jog. I do a little bit of everything when I'm out there, but it's typically the first Saturday in March, and that's coming up March 5th at Exarban Village. But Craig, let's go to you. Why is this event so important?
Well, because we see pretty clearly that utility assistance is needed. The misperception right now is that the pandemic is over and things are back to normal, and there's not a need. There's still a dramatic need for utility assistance. And so we want to do everything that we can to raise money to provide that utility assistance directly to both OPPD and MUD customers.
Yeah, because it really is. I mean, it's a year long. I mean, it's a 365 day a year issue / need for
Yes.
in the community.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We're raising, and part of the reason that we do this event now, right, is because it's more acute for people in the cold, right? If they are unable to pay their utility bill, and they don't have the electricity, the natural gas to keep their homes warm. So it's a particular problem this time of year, but to your point, it lasts all year long. We see it, throughout the entire year.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Major Moore. How has the pandemic increased the need? I know Craig talked a little bit about that, but how the increased need and kind of how the Salvation Army fits into all of this.
Yeah, well, we've been supporting Heat the Streets and been engaged since its beginning. And so we're very grateful for the partnership, to be a part of things that happen the day of the run. While folks are running, we're hoping that they don't need hot chocolate, but we have that in the plans. Yep. But we serve water and some carbs for folks. When it comes to a 5K, I'm more of a 0.5K donut run kind of guy. So we'll be at the canteen handing out and supporting all of those runners who understand fully that this isn't just a great Saturday to get out and to go for a run and enjoy the village and that part of our community. But that's an investment that they're making in a unique way in our most marginalized neighbors who deal with the insecurity of utilities. And as we've already talked about, that's something that we face all year long, and that we at the Salvation Army have the opportunity to respond to. During the cold, everyone takes for granted that the heat's going to kick on, and when we go to the light switch, that when we flip it, that lights are going to come on. But for some of our marginalized neighbors, kids just doing homework, with the thought of them not having electricity just absolutely baffles my mind that in 2022 that would be something that we would be responding to. But I'm so grateful that we have a community here in Omaha that does so wonderfully. I also think about in the middle of the summer when we don't think that it would be so important to have utilities, but that's a very important time as well. Because we have several of our senior citizens or our more experienced neighbors in our community that staying cool and being able to have fresh air moving around their house is so vital to their well-being. And even that becomes a life safety issue for us and for them as well. So we're grateful for the partnership. We indeed have seen the need increase by 20 or 30%. And in fact, we was just looking at some numbers the other day, and since COVID began, we've served more than 55,000 grab-and-go lunches to individuals who wouldn't have opportunity to eat if we weren't providing this service for one reason or another. We're also seeing a 15 to 30% increase and individuals coming to us for utility assistance and all of those types of things. So one, it's an exciting event. Two, it's very, very timely. And it isn't about this little window in March that we get to talk about it, but this has year-round impact, and we're so very grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, living here, Nebraska, the Midwest, we've seen weather warnings where we've got, advisories or warnings because it's so cold. And then, then we're experiencing 50, 60 degree weather. And then in the summer, it's just, it's this up and down. And you have to just be prepared for just kind of extremes oftentimes. But let's talk a little bit about, because I look at this as kind of a family gathering. Is that a true statement, Craig?
Yeah, absolutely. Kid friendly, bring the kids on down. We hope to see a lot of kids there. Children under 12 receive a free registration with a paid adult. So bring all of the kids. Again, we want it to be accessible for everyone, right? So there's the 5K for those that want to take it a bit more seriously, but for those that want the shorter version, there's a mile walk. Whatever you want to do, we certainly want to see as many kids, and there's lots for kids to do down there as well at Exarban. So we would love to see kids there.
Yeah, because it's really somewhat of I don't want to necessarily call it a festival, but it honestly is a festive occasion. And you're getting together, and like you said, I'm looking over this way because I've got the website over here, heatthestreetsomaha.com. And again, the event, the 5K, that you can walk it, and there's really not a time limit, so it really is, enjoy yourself, or you can actually do it virtually if you don't live in Omaha, or you live out, in an area that you just, I don't want to drive in, but I want to support this and do it virtually.
That's right. And, there's still a pandemic. And so we want to make sure that everyone is safe. We're very much being mindful of what COVID case rates are. And if we need to adjust, we certainly will. At this point, you're right. There is an in-person event planned. Looks like that's where we're going to go, but there's also the virtual option as well. The event was entirely virtual last year and went extraordinarily well. So we know that it can work in that sense. And to your point, if you're in Florida and you want to contribute, participate, and support this community because you love it like I do, then absolutely participate, and you can get your 1K in or your 1 mile in from wherever you are.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about how much you're hoping to raise this year from this event.
Well, last year as an anchor point, it was just over $100,000 that was raised. Because the need is there and it is growing, we set a goal to get to 300,000 this year. So very, very big vision for what we're going to do. We're working really hard to solicit not only people to come participate in the run, but also sponsorships go a long ways to helping us achieve that number. So again, we're trying to match the dollars raised to the need in the community, and as we've said, it's growing, and we're trying to grow how much we're raising as well.
And Major Moore, let's talk I know, Salvation Army, they're going to be there, and like you said, potentially, there's be hot chocolate to hand out, and just to have your presence there, because this is raising funds for those you serve. Do you want to add anything to that?
Again, we're very, very grateful. And just a reminder is that 75% of our neighbors live from paycheck to paycheck, regardless of the income levels that they have. And so the folks that we're seeing served at the Salvation Army are traditionally marginalized, but maybe new folks dealing with some financial difficulties because of the pandemic. Or there's been lots of talk since the first of the year about inflation. And the cost of utilities, that some folks are paying 2 to 3 times the amount that they had been budgeting for or that they had been expecting. And so again, bumping the goal up to that sounds like a huge goal of 300,000, and that is an awful lot of money. But what I know about our friends here in Omaha, that they're so very generous, and that it's just not about raising money, but those dollars and cents are transforming to improving the quality of lives of our neighbors. And so we just encourage you to get online, sign up, come out on the 5th, run your little hearts out, walk it out, make a day of it. But the Salvation Army is so very grateful, first of all, for this partnership, and then to represent every single runner to those families that we serve as we're meeting this the most basic needs of a warm place to stay with some lights on. Again, that I am often guilty of just taking for granted. That's a challenge that, I think about kids with families and seniors. That's a challenge that just breaks my heart that they would even have to consider or think about or make a choice about, right? Do I pay the utility bill or do I put gas in the car? Those are real life choices, and that Heat the Streets helps us to make those choices a little easier for our most marginalized neighbors.
Absolutely. And I do want to add one of the things, I just love about this. Does anybody know what year this is? I feel like I should
15.
know that.
This is 15th
Okay.
year. Yeah.
15 year. And again, you can also donate in addition to just signing up for the 5K. There's some volunteer, your website, again, you got you can shop on here, look at sponsors, you can become a sponsor, volunteer, register. But you're also, the thing I love about this and the 5K, you're out there moving your body. So it's the whole health and wellness piece to raising money for those in need, and then doing something just good for yourself.
Yeah.
Just kind of, to me, puts a nice, beautiful little Salvation Army red bow on it. So your colors are orange and blue. So do you encourage people to dress up at all, or like to, sometimes people, dress in costumes. I can't remember, honestly, if anybody does it for this.
Yeah, I don't recall, but we're not going to discourage them from dressing up, right? Like we want this to be a fun event for a serious cause,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely.
So let's have some fun with it.
Absolutely. Well, we've got about 30 seconds left. Any last words, Craig?
No, I would just express some gratitude for everybody involved in pulling this event together. I was just on a steering committee meeting this morning. There are a lot of really great, smart, passionate people from both MUD and OPPD working on this. So I'm very thankful for all of the work that's going into helping people.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. I will see you on March 5th. And again, head to the website, sign up, and let's all make a difference. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And
God
folks,
bless.
and folks, we'll be right back.